The 2024 presidential election is here. America holds its breath. The air is thick with anticipation, and the nation stands at a crossroads, waiting to see which path it will take. Kamala Harris versus Donald Trump. Two figures who have come to symbolize the stark contrast in America's political landscape. It's a rematch for the ages, a clash of ideologies, a fight for the soul of a nation. The tension is palpable. Every speech, every debate, every rally adds fuel to the fire of an already heated contest. The stakes couldn't be higher. The outcome of this election will shape the future of the country for generations to come. Policies on healthcare, immigration, climate change, and the economy hang in the balance. In one corner stands Vice President Kamala Harris, the Democratic nominee. She has spent years in public service, rising through the ranks with a focus on justice and equality. She represents experience, a steady hand, a return to normalcy. Her campaign promises to build on the progress made during the Biden administration, aiming for a more inclusive and equitable society. In the other corner, the former president, Donald Trump. A figure who has never shied away from controversy, he remains a polarizing force in American politics. A firebrand, a showman, a disruptor. His campaign is built on the promise of shaking up the establishment and returning power to the people. He thrives on chaos and rallies his base with promises of a return to greatness. His supporters see him as a champion of their values and a bulwark against the political elite. America is a nation divided. The political chasm between the left and the right has never been wider, and the rhetoric has never been more charged. The political landscape is a minefield of anger, distrust, and misinformation. Social media amplifies every controversy, and the 24-hour news cycle keeps the nation on edge. Both candidates face an uphill battle to unite a fractured electorate. They must navigate a complex web of issues and appeal to a diverse array of voters, each with their own hopes and fears for the future. Will it be Harris's pragmatism or Trump's populism that wins the day? The answer lies in the hands of the American people, as they cast their votes and decide the direction of their nation. Section 2. The Battle for the Swing States. In every presidential election, the focus inevitably turns to a select group of states known as the swing states. These are the states where the outcome is uncertain, and both parties have a chance of winning. The battle for these states is fierce, as they hold the key to securing the presidency. The road to the White House runs through a handful of key battleground states. These states are not just geographical locations, they are the heart of the electoral process. Winning them can make or break a campaign, and candidates know this all too well. Pennsylvania, with its history of narrow margins, is once again a prize. This state has been a political battleground for decades, and its voters are known for their unpredictability. Michigan, with its diverse population and economic challenges, is another critical state. Wisconsin, with its mix of urban and rural areas, presents a unique challenge for candidates. And Nevada, with its growing population and changing demographics, holds the potential to tip the scales. Each of these states has its own unique set of issues and concerns, and candidates must tailor their messages to resonate with the voters there. Harris currently enjoys a slim lead in most polls, but these states are notoriously unpredictable. Polls can change rapidly, and what looks like a comfortable lead today can vanish tomorrow. The campaigns are well aware of this, and they are leaving nothing to chance. Trump's team is banking on a late surge, hoping to replicate his surprise victory in 2016. They are focusing on energizing their base and turning out voters who may have stayed home in previous elections. The memory of 2016 looms large, and both sides are determined not to repeat the mistakes of the past. Both campaigns are pouring resources into these pivotal states. Volunteers are working around the clock, making phone calls, knocking on doors, and organizing events. The ground game is crucial, and both sides are pulling out all the stops to ensure they reach every potential voter. Rallies, town halls, and a relentless barrage of political ads dominate the airwaves. Every vote counts. Every voice matters. The airwaves are saturated with messages from both campaigns, each trying to sway undecided voters and solidify their support. The outcome in these battlegrounds will likely determine the next president of the United States. As Election Day approaches, the tension mounts, and the eyes of the nation turn to these critical states. The future of the country hangs in the balance, and the battle for the swing states is more intense than ever. Section 3. The Rise of Kamala. Kamala Harris has emerged as a formidable candidate. Her nomination marks a turning point in American history. The first female vice president, she now seeks to become the first female president. Harris's campaign has gained momentum in recent weeks. Her message of unity and her focus on issues like healthcare and climate change resonate with a broad coalition of voters. Her experience as a prosecutor and her sharp intellect make her a formidable debater. She's not afraid to take on Trump directly, challenging his record and his rhetoric. Her ability to connect with voters on a personal level is undeniable. Section 4. Trump's uphill battle. Donald Trump is no stranger to defying the odds. His 2016 victory shocked the world. But this time around he faces a series of unique challenges. His presidency was marked by controversy, scandal, and impeachment. His handling of the COVID-19 pandemic drew widespread criticism. His continued claims of election fraud in 2020 have alienated moderate voters and even some within his own party. Despite these hurdles, Trump remains a popular figure among his base. His supporters are fiercely loyal. They are drawn to his message of economic nationalism and his promise to make America great again. Section 5. Biden's long shadow. Joe Biden's decision to step down after one term has cast, well, a long shadow over the 2024 election. While Biden's approval ratings have improved in recent months, he remains a polarizing figure. Harris must now navigate the delicate balance of embracing Biden's legacy while also forging her own path. She needs to convince voters that she's the right person to lead the country, not just a continuation of the Biden administration. Trump, on the other hand, sees Biden's absence as an opportunity. He's eager to paint Harris as inexperienced and out of touch, hoping to capitalize on any lingering dissatisfaction with the Biden presidency. Section 6. The Supreme Court looms. The Supreme Court, with its conservative majority, has become a major factor in the 2024 election. Its influence extends far beyond the courtroom, shaping the political landscape and affecting the lives of millions of Americans. Recent rulings on abortion rights, gun control, and voting rights have inflamed tensions and energized both sides of the political spectrum. These decisions have sparked widespread protests and rallies, with citizens passionately voicing their opinions and demanding change. The court's decision to overturn Roe v. Wade has been particularly divisive, mobilizing pro-choice voters and putting a spotlight on the issue of abortion access. This landmark ruling has reignited the debate over women's reproductive rights, with many fearing the loss of hard-won freedoms. Trump's appointment of 3 conservative justices during his presidency has shifted the balance of the court for a generation. These appointments have solidified a conservative majority, ensuring that the court's decisions will reflect a more right-leaning ideology for years to come. Harris has vowed to codify Roe v. Wade into law if elected, while Trump has praised the court's decision. This stark contrast between the candidates highlights the importance of the Supreme Court in the upcoming election, as voters consider the long-term implications of their choices. The issue of the Supreme Court is likely to be front and center in the minds of voters as they head to the polls. With the future of key issues like abortion rights, gun control, and voting rights hanging in the balance, the stakes have never been higher. Voters are acutely aware that the composition of the court can shape the nation's laws and values for generations to come. The Supreme Court has always played a crucial role in American democracy, interpreting the Constitution and ensuring that laws align with the nation's founding principles. However, its recent decisions have brought its power and influence into sharp focus, reminding voters of the profound impact the court can have on their daily lives. As the election approaches, discussions about the Supreme Court's role and its future direction are intensifying. Communities across the country are engaging in debates, town hall meetings, and political forums, emphasizing the importance of informed voting and civic participation. Ultimately, the outcome of the 2024 election will determine the trajectory of the Supreme Court and, by extension, the nation. The decisions made by voters will shape the court's composition and influence its rulings on critical issues for years to come. As Americans cast their ballots, they carry the weight of this responsibility, knowing that their choices will echo through history. Section 7. Every vote counts. With the election just weeks away, both campaigns are laser-focused on getting out the vote. They understand that every single vote could make the difference in this tight race. Volunteers are knocking on doors, making phone calls, and using social media to reach potential voters. Early voting is already underway in many states, and both campaigns are urging their supporters to cast their ballots as soon as possible. The outcome of the election may well come down to which campaign can most effectively mobilize its base and persuade undecided voters to head to the polls. Section 8. The stakes have never been higher. The 2024 presidential election is about more than just choosing a leader. It's about the direction of the country, the future of American democracy, and the role of the United States in the world. The outcome of this election will have profound consequences for generations to come. It will determine the fate of healthcare, climate change, the economy, and so much more. The choice facing voters is stark. A vote for Harris is a vote for experience, stability, and a return to normalcy. A vote for Trump is a vote for change, disruption, and a rejection of the status quo. The world is watching. America is at a crossroads.